Welcome back, everyone. Today we're taking a deep dive into something a lot of us can relate to: coffee.
Definitely can relate to that.
We got some really interesting sources this time around.
Oh, yeah.
One's like a whole article all about these coffee hack stuff you can do with coffee, besides just, well, drinking it.
Interesting.
And then we've got another one that's just packed with historical coffee facts.
Oh, cool. Looking forward to that.
So yeah, get ready to look at your coffee pot in a whole new way.
I'm ready.
So let's start with those coffee hacks. I gotta say, some of these were pretty surprising even to me.
Yeah, like what?
Well, this first one is actually something I've tried, and it's a game changer: freezing leftover coffee into ice cubes.
Oh, yeah, I've heard about that.
Yeah, so you can make iced coffee without it getting all watered down.
Smart.
And the article even suggests dropping a few of those coffee ice cubes into a glass of milk.
Oh, for like an instant iced latte.
Exactly.
Yeah,
Super convenient, especially for busy mornings.
I like that.
And, okay, this one really surprised me. Using used coffee grounds as a natural exfoliant.
Really? So like a scrub?
Yeah. Who knew our morning coffee could double as a skincare routine?
Huh. Well, it does make sense when you think about it.
How so?
Well, we'll get into the history a little bit later, but coffee's actually been used for cleansing for centuries.
No way.
Yeah. And now we're seeing it come back around in all these modern beauty products.
Full circle, huh?
Yeah.
So instead of tossing those used grounds, we can just mix them with some coconut oil or something.
Sounds pretty easy. And the article mentions those grounds are full of antioxidants.
Good for the skin, right?
Exactly. Plus, the caffeine in coffee grounds can actually help tighten and depuff the skin, too.
Oh, wow. So it's like a little revitalizing boost.
Yeah.
I love that. Natural and eco-friendly.
Definitely.
Speaking of which, what about using coffee grounds to absorb odors in the fridge? Have you ever tried that one?
Oh, yeah. All the time.
Does it really work?
Like a charm. You just put a bowl of the used grounds in the back of your fridge. They just suck up all those unwanted smells.
I've always struggled with that. My fridge never seems to smell fresh.
Give this a try. It really works. Just remember to switch out the grounds every couple of weeks.
Okay, I'm definitely going to try that.
You won't regret it.
All right, on to the next hack: using coffee in marinades, especially for meats like steak or pork.
Ooh, yeah. Good one.
Seems like the brewed coffee can add a whole new dimension of flavor.
It's not just the flavor, though.
Oh,
The acidity in the coffee actually helps to tenderize the meat, makes it more succulent.
interesting. I never knew that.
Yeah, and that bold kind of earthy flavor from the coffee really goes well with like grilled or smoky dishes.
I can see that. It's a trick I've never tried, but I can see how that depth of flavor would be really nice.
Especially with grilled meats.
Definitely. Okay, this next one really caught my eye: using coffee grounds as fertilizer in the garden.
Oh, classic.
I'm always looking for ways to, step up my gardening game. And this seems like such a natural, sustainable solution.
It really is. And it goes back to that acidity we were talking about.
Oh, right.
You know, those acid-loving plants like roses, blueberries, rhododendrons,
Yeah.
they really thrive in soil that's a little more acidic.
Yeah.
Coffee grounds can help create that perfect environment.
Huh. I never thought about it like that. So it's not just about adding nutrients to the soil.
Right, it's also about getting that pH balance right.
Interesting.
Plus, coffee grounds help with drainage and aeration, and they attract earthworms.
Which are like essential for healthy soil, right?
Exactly.
Man, it sounds like coffee grounds are like the ultimate multitaskers.
Pretty much.
I'm already looking at them in a whole new way.
Good.
And for those who maybe want a more subtle coffee experience, the article suggests making a DIY air freshener.
Oh, yeah. How do you do that?
You just fill a cloth bag with some coffee beans and hang it up in your car or closet.
Okay, so like a little sachet.
Yeah, exactly. A gentle way to get that nice coffee aroma without it being too strong. Speaking of aroma, have you ever used coffee grounds to get rid of those stubborn smells from your hands after cooking?
You mean like after chopping garlic or onions?
Yeah, exactly.
Oh, absolutely.
Works wonders. I've always used baking soda for that, but coffee grounds seem a lot more appealing.
It's great. The grounds neutralize the odor, and they act as a gentle scrub, too.
So clean, fresh hands and a subtle coffee scent.
Exactly. 2 birds, 1 stone.
I'm going to have to keep a jar of those grounds by the sink from now on.
Me too.
Okay, one more hack before we dive into the history. Apparently, brewed coffee can be used to shine wooden furniture.
Oh, yeah, that's an old trick.
It is.
Mm-hmm. Works especially well on dark wood. The coffee deepens the color and helps hide any little imperfections.
Oh, okay.
Gives it a nice polished look.
Cool. Okay, last one, I promise.
Let's hear it.
This was a surprise. Coffee grounds can actually repel pests.
That's right.
Really?
Mm-hmm. You can sprinkle them around your garden to deter things like ants and slugs.
So it's like a natural pesticide.
Basically, yeah. They don't like the caffeine, and those rough grounds create a barrier they don't want to cross.
So it's chemical-free, pet-safe, good for the environment.
Exactly.
I'm all for that. Now, earlier you mentioned that coffee was historically used for cleaning.
Oh, yeah.
I'm dying to hear more about that.
Well, let's take a trip back in time and explore that surprising side of coffee's history.
All right, lead the way.
Buckle up. It's a fascinating journey. So before we get into the whole cleaning thing, it's important to remember that coffee drinking itself, that started way back in Ethiopia.
Oh, right, of course.
And from there, it just, spread throughout the world
Yeah.
and eventually evolved into the drink we all know and love today.
Wow. So before lattes and cappuccinos, people were using coffee to clean their hands.
It's funny how things change, isn't it?
It really is.
Like, imagine using your morning coffee to wash your hands.
I can't even imagine.
Right. But in the 10th century, like way back then,
Hmm.
physicians and botanists in the Middle East, they were writing about this like coffee-like compound
Okay.
called Bunk, specifically for hand washing.
Bunk. What a strange name. Was it actually coffee or something else?
That's the thing. We don't really know for sure.
Huh.
There's not a ton of information about Bunk out there.
Interesting.
We know it was supposed to be really good at getting rid of strong odors, but without drying out your skin.
Oh, okay.
And a lot of the recipes for it included spices like cloves and cinnamon,
Oh, wow.
even fruit peels sometimes.
So it was more like a coffee spice blend.
Yeah, almost like those fancy scrubs you get today.
I wonder if any of those old recipes are still around.
It'd be awesome to find one and try it out.
Right.
But yeah, sadly, the reasons why Bunk kind of disappeared, that's a bit of a mystery too.
It makes you wonder, was it actually that good at cleaning? Or did something else happen?
Yeah.
What about soap? Was soap around back then?
That's a great question. While Bunk was being used in the Middle East, soap was already a thing in other parts of the world.
Oh, okay.
So it's possible that soap just kind of, took over.
Makes sense. It was more widely available.
Exactly, and it was probably just more effective.
Yeah, I guess.
So Bunk just kind of faded away.
The classic story of the newer technology winning out.
Pretty much.
So while all that was going on, by the 15th century, coffee drinking was already becoming super popular.
Oh, yeah.
Especially in the Middle East and Europe.
Right. People started to really appreciate the taste,
Yeah.
and that caffeine kick.
I know all about that.
So the focus really shifted from coffee as a cleaning thing to coffee as a drink.
So we went from washing our hands with it to needing it to wake up in the morning.
Exactly. The world discovered the magic of a good cup of coffee.
And the rest, as they say, is history.
Right.
What a journey, huh?
It really is.
From cleanser to beverage, who would have thought?
Makes you appreciate that next cup a little more, doesn't it?
Definitely does. Speaking of which, I was just blown away by the stats on coffee consumption in the U.S.
Yeah.
The article mentioned that Americans drink something like 440 million cups of coffee every single day.
That's insane.
I know, right? It really shows you how important coffee is to us today.
It's more than just a drink at this point.
It's a ritual, a social thing.
For some people, it's practically essential.
It fuels creativity, gets conversations going, brings people together.
And to think, it all started with this little bean.
With a really interesting past.
Really goes to show you how resourceful humans are.
Turning something ordinary into something extraordinary.
Exactly.
Well, we've covered a lot of ground here.
We have.
Learned about some pretty unexpected uses for coffee. Uncovered that surprising history as a cleanser. And just, wow, the sheer amount of coffee we drink these days.
That's a lot to process.
Before we wrap things up, I have a question, so to think about.
Okay, I'm listening.
So, thinking about how coffee went from like a hand cleaner to this drink we can't live without. What other crazy uses for coffee are out there that we just, haven't discovered yet?
It really makes you wonder, doesn't it?
It does. Like if coffee can go from cleaning hands to, I don't know, like fueling our brains.
Yeah.
Who knows what else is possible?
There's got to be more to it.
Right. Like maybe there's some health benefits we haven't even thought of yet.
To be?
Or, I don't know, some crazy new way to use it in technology.
Yeah, or in art even.
Exactly. The possibilities are endless.
Pretty much.
Okay, before we get too far ahead of ourselves,
Sure.
I want to go back to some of those coffee hacks we talked about.
Yeah.
I'm seriously inspired to try some of them out.
You.
Starting with those frozen coffee cubes.
Oh, definitely.
No more watery iced coffee for me.
It's a game changer.
And don't forget that quick iced latte trick.
Oh, yeah, just add milk.
So easy.
and delicious.
And I'm really intrigued by that coffee ground exfoliant.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, like, it just feels good to find new uses for stuff I'd normally just throw away.
Right. It's like recycling.
Exactly. And it's not just about exfoliating either.
Yeah.
That caffeine can tighten and depuff the skin, too.
It's like a mini spa treatment.
I love it. And all those coffee grounds in the fridge?
Oh, yeah. That's got to be the first one you try.
For real, I am so tired of my fridge smelling weird.
It's a lifesaver. Just trust me.
Okay. Okay, I'm sold.
And don't forget to swap out those grounds every few weeks.
I got it. I got it.
Good.
And I can't wait to try that coffee marinade.
Oh, yeah. So good.
All that flavor, plus tenderizing the meat.
It's a win-win.
Definitely got to try that one out soon.
You won't regret it.
And of course, my garden is going to be getting a nice little coffee boost.
Your plants will thank you.
I think so.
Here you go.
Yeah, it's amazing how something so simple can make such a difference.
Nature knows best.
So true.
And hey, if you're not into all that,
Yeah.
don't forget about that DIY air freshener.
Oh, right, the coffee bean sachet.
Exactly. Just a nice, subtle way to enjoy that coffee aroma.
I love that. And, you know, if I ever have that garlic or onion smell on my hands again, please, coffee grounds to the rescue.
Problem solved.
And even my furniture can benefit.
Oh, yeah, that coffee polish is amazing.
It's like coffee is good for everything.
Pretty much.
Beauty, cleaning, gardening, cooking.
Who knows what else we'll discover?
Right. Like, what other everyday stuff has hidden potential?
Makes you think.
That's what the deep dive is all about.
Uncovering those hidden connections.
Exactly. Well, that's about it for our coffee deep dive today.
Wow, time flies.
It really does. But before we go, I want to encourage everyone listening to, embrace their curiosity.
Yeah.
Try out these coffee hacks. Learn about the history.
And maybe even do some experimenting of your own.
Exactly. You never know what you might discover.
That's the spirit.
Thanks for joining us on this caffeinated adventure, everyone.
It's been fun.
Until next time, keep exploring, keep learning, and keep that coffee brewing.
Cheers to that.